All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Sweet Lou Special. Now, already getting some issues on. Here we go. All right, so welcome back. Great episode of the Sweet Lou Special. I'm back. I'm here, having a good time. Hope everyone has been great. I just want to say thank you first of all to all the followers out there that have really been patient with me these past few months, because I know I haven't been making a lot of content. A lot of things have happened with me personally and with my family, but things are better now. I know it's been quite a long time since I've done another video, but here I am, episode 26 for everyone. 17th of October 2019. I'm back. I'm going to be putting out some more content. Page is doing awesome. It is getting more and more followers. It is, and people are getting very involved, getting really into the group, which is great, man. Make those comments, get involved, share the posts, get the word out there. And I really hope that everyone's enjoying the content. I know it's a lot of political and with some humor that's involved into it. That's my goal. A lot of things have changed with people that have been involved with the page. So thank you guys, those that are still involved, helping me out, doing great things, man. And in case you guys didn't know, there was a period of time, probably for about 2-3 weeks, maybe close to a month, where not much content was being put out to the followers, to the people that have been following and commenting on the page. Now, it's something that happened where I was being kind of ghost banned on from Facebook, and it was really irritating because I was reaching like thousands of people on my posts, and it was great. It was awesome. And then it just dropped down to like one or two, and I really threw a fit about it. And now it's fixed. My content's finally getting back out to the people, out to my followers, and so it's great, doing great things. And so thank you all very much for staying patient with me and back here to watch another episode. Now let's get into some of the important stuff that's going on in the great country of the United States of America. And as you see with my Trump Keep America Great 2020, it shouldn't be of any question or doubt that I am a great President Trump supporter. All right. Now, breaking news comes in today as Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had met with the Turkish president and agreed on a ceasefire. Now, as you guys may or may not know, which everyone should be knowing by now, about what's going on with the issue of Northern Syria, is that President Trump had issued a withdrawal of a small group of U.S. forces, from my understanding was like less than 50, to be pulled out of Northern Syria. We kind of left the Kurds out there to fight for themselves, while Turkish forces were going to come in and attack Kurdish forces. And everyone was throwing a fit about, oh, how can Trump do this? They're our allies, they're our best friends, we supported them, they supported us, blah, blah, blah. And, the typical bullshit of, the leftist media blowing it out of proportion. Now, this is one incident that had gotten bipartisan agreement from both the left and right, where the majority of those that feel that this is correct, that of people thought that this was wrong to be pulling out. Now, I think in the veteran community, it could be probably said that, I think we've done enough fighting. We've been in Afghanistan since 2001. We've been already back in Iraq now after we invaded in 2003. So we've had almost 20 years of nonstop Middle East war that involved Americans. I mean, multiple generations, people now that were not even born when 9/11 had happened are able to join the military and go fight in Afghanistan. It's crazy. Now, however, it was agreed for that the next 120 hours, that there would be a ceasefire. Now, as the United States facilitates a withdrawal of the People's Protection Units. And after that is completed and nothing happens, the sanctions will be lifted off of Turkey, and that a permanent ceasefire will occur, will be put in place. Now, a lot has been happening in American politics lately. I haven't covered. There's been a lot of stuff. There's been like Impeachgate that the Democrats wanted to start, but it seems like nothing is happening with that. It's literally gone nowhere. Now the president, and all the way down to now with President Trump moving out the U.S. forces and leaving the Kurds out to fight for themselves. Now, the left has really done everything that they can to counter the efforts of President Trump in every aspect, every move that he makes. Every time he steps forward, Democrats, leftist media always want to try to take him back 2 steps. And while they're doing that, they're taking the entire country back with them. And they don't understand that. I mean, he's even gone to the point where there's been a bipartisan condemnation in the House of Representatives from the left and the right. So, one moment, Democrats preach about, U.S. forces need to be moved out of the Middle East. We need to get out of Iraq. We need to get out of Afghanistan. Then when President Trump does that actual thing that he said that he would, then the Democrats flip the script and like, we can't be just leaving them out there, because everything that President Trump does, the Democrats always have to go right against it every single time, regardless if it's right or wrong. Is always going against, always. And so this is where we get the bipartisan vote, because we do have Republicans in the House that I would say were warmongers that would prefer us to continue on with conflict in the Middle East. And that's where they're going to find the middle ground with the Democrats, because the Democrats are going to do the exact opposite of what Trump wants to do. Then boom, it creates this whole thing. Now they're left in the wind with their thumbs up their ass after they did this vote the other day, because now the ceasefire. Look what happened. Sorry, politicians. Sorry, House of Representatives. No U.S. force, no United States Americans, no American forces had died. No war started with Turkey. No conflict occurred, except the vice president and the Secretary of State both sat down together with the Turkish president and resolved this issue without anyone getting hurt. Well, probably some Kurds got hurt, but other than that, that's what politics is, right? Diplomacy, trying to talk things out, non-violent resolutions. Now, because with this Democratic back and forth that constantly happens every day, I mean, it's hard to even tell what Democrats actually believe in today. What do they actually truly believe in? One year they say one thing, and then they flip the script another couple of years because Trump is for it or against it or whatever. They flip the script. Now, there have been a lot of people on the left, a lot of people on the right. Again, like I said, been criticizing President Trump on his decision to remove the troops from Northern Syria. Me, honestly, I've been 100% for it. I agreed about moving them. I don't think that we should be there much anymore. I have been to Iraq. I've been to Afghanistan. I came back alive and okay. Thank God. But a lot of people can't say the same. You know, we have had our great American people spill enough of their blood, sacrifice their health, mental health, physical health, for a group of people who continue to have issues about fighting for their own country. It's not the fact that they can't or cannot. When you understand and you go over there and see those people, it's hard to get any kind of patriotism from them for their own country to fight for themselves. Basically, in a sense, most of them is because they don't want to. Now, we have supported the Kurds We're continuing to support the Kurds. It's not like we just left them high and dry completely. They're still going to be funded. They're still going to be supplied by the United States. I mean, for goodness sakes, we've had our own citizens, free citizens, leave our country to go and fight with the Kurds. Hell, from all over the world. Even parts of Europe, people have left to go fight with the Kurds. Now, like I said, we're going to continue to fund them. We're going to continue to be a strong ally with the Kurds. But now we have to wait and see, after this comes out with the ceasefire, how the leftist media is going to spew this bullshit about President Trump. Now, I don't know why anyone would really think that escalating a conflict with Turkey, which is a NATO ally, would be an appropriate move while in Syria. Now, the details come out that there was like less than 50 United States troops over there, American troops. And so, really, if Turkey came across, how is that small group going to thwart off the Turkish army? Come on, man. Place the American people first, right? Now look what happened. Ceasefire. Boom. Done. Got it. Did the right thing. Save some allies, save the American interests, preserve freedom for the American people that are voluntarily being there and fighting in our armed forces. That's what placing America's first is about. Okay? Now, I've asked a lot of people, like, oh, what do you think would be an appropriate alternative? Should we have stayed? Some people couldn't even give me an answer. Well, I didn't think about that. What would be an alternative if we stayed? Should we have stayed? Or one guy even told me that that just the presence of that force there, of the American force there, would have thwarted off the Turkish army from even coming across the border, which, in my opinion, is highly doubtful. That wouldn't have happened. I don't think so. Then you have the media that goes off and says, like, oh, they are bombing Kurdish forces and purposely hit close to American targets, blah blah blah. ISIS prisoners are being set free, which a lot of the shit that they're putting out there, I doubt, because it was already shown. ABC News has shown video of Turkish forces attacking Kurdish forces in northern Syria. But yet, it was really just video from Kentucky. It was like training maneuvers or something like that. Which goes on to prove the point of, like people say, oh, the fake news. Well, hey, that shit's real. What I mean? Oh, kind of a oxymoron there. Real fake news. But, I mean, that's true. If that doesn't get the people's eyes open about, like, the media really being biased and lying to people, by showing video that wasn't even Syria to try to show, and get the people motivated and pissed off about it for over nothing. Now, most have doubted that such a move of a ceasefire or the implementing of sanctions on Turkey was ever going to be helpful, was ever going to happen, was ever going to resolve this issue. But as of right now, it seems that it has resolved that issue. And that's great. To me, that's awesome. This is great news, man. This is great news. This is a win. Win for the American people. Win for America. Definitely a win for President Trump. What more can you ask? And everyone wants to go off and criticize him, especially on the left, about, oh, he's in Putin's pocket. Oh, he done nothing for the North Koreans. Or blah, he's done, nothing against Iran. And blah, it's only made everything worse. Lie. The man's done things with North Korea that no president has ever done in the history or existence of the country of North Korea. But yet, I guess that's a failure. I guess that's being, in a dictator's pocket. A bunch of bullshit. President Trump promised the people that he would impose the sanctions on Turkey. He resolved the issues. He resolved it. Basically, I gotta say, if you're against it the whole time, hey, go cry about this. Now, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what the leftist media is going to spew out. What's going to happen. They're already working hard about, oh, man, we got to put something out there, about make up some kind of bullshit. Find some kind of small thing. But hey, you know what? Admit it, man. Admit it. We won. And that's great. You see? And this is why President Trump has been the best president that I've ever seen in my existence. Because, and here's the thing, is that he's always continuing to try to resolve issues, always trying to do better things for the American people. But there's always the House Democrats that seem to be the thorn in his side, that always try to prohibit him from doing his job. Investigation after investigation. Unfounded. There's people that still believe that there was Russian collusion in the 2016 campaign when there's an entire Mueller report that says not. But because of that, hey, obstruction of justice. Found something in there that we can try to investigate on. No obstruction. Which now I doubt, because it's now brings me to my next point in the show. Big thing going on that I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people about is this impeachment. I want to impeach the president. Impeach. The complete utter bullshit of like what's going on because of after this Ukrainian call with President Zelensky, Ukraine. It's funny because like I happen to know a lot about the issue in Ukraine. My wife is Ukrainian. I got family in Ukraine. I was married in Ukraine. I've been there quite a few times. Now, this whole thing that I'm bringing up is confusing to me. Because what happened with the Democrats' impeachment inquiry? They promised it. They said it was going to happen. They said we are going to create an impeachment inquiry on President Trump. Which, what was it? The twins that are on Facebook and on social media, they said, what the hell is an impeachment inquiry? What the fuck is an inquiry? Why are you inquiry? Like, are you going to do it or not? Like, what is it? Shit or get off the pot? I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, I really, it's hard for me to understand, like, what the hell is going on. Pelosi made it public, that the House is going to hold off on an impeachment inquiry vote and are voting for impeachment as of right now. While leftist groups like, Occupy Democrats, they continue to announce that, House Democrats have subpoenaed, multiple cabinet members, like the former ambassador to Ukraine. And she testified for like 9 hours. She's a hero. Or like, they subpoenaed this guy and, he testified for 4 hours, behind closed doors. It's not a testify. You're not testifying. You're just giving an account. If it's behind closed doors, there's nothing official about it. And then people are throwing a fit about, I think some people on the right are saying shit about, they can't subpoena us or, we don't have to comply, which in a sense is true because it is not a formal trial or hearing. You see, the House of Representatives does the subpoena stuff. They do this House and committee investigations. Last time anyone was in contempt of the House or of any kind of, or of Congress, I should say, it was like in the 70s. And like nothing happened. It's a joke. They're a joke. So it's, you see, you have to understand that there's a lot of misconception about what is going on. All right. The subpoenas, these, that are being issued are not issued under the guidance of a judge or under any kind of formal investigation. Therefore, is really used as a scare tactic to try to make people comply with what the House is, trying to get out of them. Now, In a sense, it could really be just legally ignored. Nothing wrong about that. That part is true. However, the other part that is not true is that since this is not a formal investigation, and doesn't really have, the president doesn't have to look at evidence. This is not any kind of, issue of due process, because it's not a formal it's not like a formal hearing. It's not a formal trial, not a formal impeachment as of now, which I even still doubt at this point that is even going to get that far. Other people are going to disagree. But I mean, if you're going to be preaching impeach for like 3+ weeks and nothing has happened, probably need to scratch your head a little bit and wonder why. Why? Well, maybe one thing is that they're doing all these interviews and gathering of like evidence or testimony from these people behind closed doors. That's kind of fishy, isn't it? I mean, you're like, oh, hey, let's get these people in here now. Now tell us really what happened. Got a room full of Democrats in there, and it's like, oh, hey, what happened? Tell us. It brings me to think that maybe now they're finding out that there's not much they can hold on trying to impeach the president. I guess Mitch McConnell had put out the other day that when the impeachment comes to the Congress, or to the Senate, that he wants to make the trial fast, make sure that it goes quick before Christmas, have it all wrapped up before then. But she seems to think after some kind of lunch that they had that they are going to proceed with impeachment proceedings. But doesn't it seem a little bit weird about like why would they do that now? Why would they do that when in 13 months from now, less than that now, we're going to have a presidential election next year in November? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid that Trump is probably going to win 2020 now? That this is another move to make them look even more crazy, incompetent to even run the country? Did they even put the last nail in the coffin by starting this impeachment bullshit? I think so. I think they're going to find every time that they're bringing up this shit, every investigation that has just been going on for years now, what has the House been working on to try to make America better, make America awesome, great, and work for the American people? Nothing. It's just time, money wasted on bullshit investigations that is showing up nothing. Everyone on the left is just like biting at suckling on this fucking teat of the leftist media. And it's getting so crazy. It's absurd. Now, I've doubted that this impeachment will go anywhere past the House of Representatives anyway. Why would it? Showing more signs that it's not going to. Now, why? Because President Trump insisted that the Ukrainian government assist in investigating why Joe Biden may have been a driving force behind the Ukraine joining the EU and starting a war or a proxy war with Russian-backed rebels in the East. Isn't this like legitimate? Oh, he's looking into a political opponent. Well, I hate to tell you, Biden is not the presidential candidate for the Democrat Party. Nor does it look like he's going to be now. So, now, also the fact that after Hunter Biden was also put on a board of directors for a natural gas company in Ukraine, a war then starts, and then our economy plummets while the prices of natural gas just skyrocket. Now, is that illegal to ask? Maybe a little bit improper. I don't think so. I think it was like, yeah, hey, hell yeah, let's look into it. This has always been a question about the Ukrainian people, wondering why America had our dirty little fingers involved in Ukraine. Fact of the matter is that no, it's not illegal. I don't even think it's wrong. I don't even think it's morally wrong. People are saying that there was a quid pro quo. Phone call happened in July, and I believe this $400 million of funds was approved in September. Seems a little bit strange. Huh? How would he prevent the Ukrainian government from getting congressional approved funds if it wasn't approved until months after the phone call happened? Huh. Well, frankly, we shouldn't really be continuing to fund that conflict, in my opinion. This really should be a EU issue. Now, in my honest opinion, and I don't give a shit what you think, what you may, want to counter with me on this. But in my honest opinion, Ukraine should just completely abandon the EU, just like the United Kingdom is going to, and return to a stronger relationship with Russia, to whom they share a language, they share a culture, they share like the same land. I mean, the history of the entire Eastern Europe all derives and started with the Slavs in Kiev anyway. So that's where they were getting all their trade from. That's where like a lot of agriculture was being traded into Ukraine, from Ukraine, with Russia. It wasn't coming from Spain. It wasn't coming from Germany or any other much of countries in the European Union. Their number one ally, number one trade source for their GDP was coming from Russia. After that broke off, Ukrainian economy crashes. People can't find no work. Prices of goods just skyrocket. The entire Ukrainian ordeal, okay, it all started with the Obama-led State Department pressured Ukraine into joining the EU, wanted to break off that Russian tie. Get it? Because, America just wants everything anti-Russia. I get it in a lot of parts. Which many Ukrainians opposed. They knew it. They knew that the Russian trade would cease. They knew a lot of conflict would occur. People would be worse off. Go without food, go without proper work. They knew that the EU, that the European Union would leave them high and dry. And that's exactly what happened. The European Union continues to crash farther down, and bringing all those other countries along with them. I mean, look what happened with Greece. It's absurd. Ukraine abandons Russia, joins the European Union, sparks a proxy war in the east, and the annexation of Crimea to Russia. The Ukrainian economy crashes, and one of the most precious resources, which is needed for heat because it gets cold. Who would have thought that it gets cold out there? Natural gas. The price of natural gas skyrockets while the Ukrainian people can't find work, flee the country in order to support themselves and their families. All because of what may be Joe Biden's interference or influence into starting that conflict with Ukraine. I think that is pretty good grounds of asking for Ukrainian help on investigating this kind of corruption, because that's exactly what it is. Hunter Biden doesn't even speak Russian, but yet he was getting millions and millions of dollars of being on the board of directors. Why? This seems like some kind of little interest there in American politics with the vice president. Shoe fits. Now, I think that it should be looked into by the United States. Definitely should be looked into jointly with the Ukrainian government. How else would you look into it? Who are you going to send? The FBI does joint investigations with foreign governments all the time. Or foreign entities, I should say. Now, while this conflict has been occurring, this war has been going on in the east of Ukraine and Donetsk since 2013-14 time frame. Let's not forget, all right, that a plane full of world-renowned oncologists was shot down in eastern Ukraine in the midst of while this war was occurring. I don't even think to this day they know which side shot it down, but at this point, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because this all, in my opinion, falls into the hands of the Biden family. And it begins to show now, as he's likely to drop out of the presidential race. Now, if there was no truth behind this, now that wouldn't happen. That is the true corruption. Now, that's what we should be looking into. That is draining the swamp like what was promised. But it's hard when it's just one man up against all these other politicians, all this other power and money and wealth. I read the comment the other day that says that we should stop looking into the tax returns of a billionaire turned public servant, when in reality we should be looking into the tax returns of public servants turned millionaires. That probably where the real corruption is. So let's face it, half of the Senate are all millionaires. It's the top 1% that seems to be running our Congress. And then, I guess the president, or our executive branch too, but it's one man that's got he's got nothing to lose. He doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit about what they think. And that's great. I think that's what the American people want. We don't want lied to, because everything that he said he was going to do, he's been working hard to try to do. He promised the wall. He's been working on it. He promised and trying to get the troops out of the Middle East. He's working on it. He's not blowing smoke up the people's ass and trying to do one thing that's going to benefit himself. Now people are going to be criticizing him on the G7 summit that's going to be happening on one of his properties in Miami. Which I don't really give a shit, man. It's just people trying to find some one small thing to nitpick. It was like, oh, it goes against the Constitution because he's getting paid by foreign governments. Even though that he had abandoned his work into his businesses, and it created a trust to let his son run the business. Hey, I don't see a big deal in it. I don't even see a big deal. There was people throwing a fit about Marine Corps ball being thrown at one of his parties, or as one of his properties. But I would have thought that would be cool as hell. Anyway, going off on a rant. The impeachment thing, in my opinion, like I said, I have put a poll out. Thank you guys for voting, for sharing that one. I don't even think it's getting past the House. I don't even think they're going to vote and keep trying. Why would they do it a year before an election? They're afraid. They're afraid that they're going to lose to Trump again, and that's just going to spark more bullshit in the country. Every day, every week, the Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot with these CNN town hall meetings or town hall debates or whatever you want to call it. And, just making it out to be a circus. Beto O'Rourke promising that he'll send police into people's houses and force them to give up their guns or assault rifles. Children being exploited on TV. A 9-year-old transgender boy asking a question, oh, it's brave. No, that's exploitation of a child. Everyone thinking that, oh, Greta Thunberg is going to get the Nobel Peace Prize for saying some few words that she practiced while on a fucking boat. No, the one that actually did win that was the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. I don't know the exact details of what he did, but I'm sure that he deserves it way more than she does. And that's great. That's what the world needs. Now it looks like Joe Biden's probably not going to be the president, the candidate, Democratic candidate. Looking probably more in favor of Elizabeth Warren. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe share your opinions on that. But when you got people like Kamala Harris that are saying you need to shut down the president's Twitter because it just spews hate and is dividing the country, and he's calling for violence. No, it's not. I mean, it's just craziness is going on. Craziness. See what time we're at here. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I want to thank everyone for really coming in to view me again, sticking in there with the group, coming back to watch another great episode. I do enjoy doing a lot of things. I still have a lot more that I want to rant and complain about, and give my opinion on, maybe make fun of some things here and there. But I'm always posting stuff on the page. If you like this video, hey, please share it. It's me live. Ask questions, man. Leave some comments. Share it. Send me a message directly. Hell, even if you make some memes or make some great pictures, hey, send it to me. I'll post it. I'll give you credit for it. Shout out to you and everyone that's involved. And hey, again, so much. I thank you for sticking with me, for being part of the group. Invite your friends, your family members. Share the content that's getting put out there. And you know what? Thank you all. Coming back. Y'all have a great day. See you guys again shortly. Or soon. A few days? We'll see. God bless. Even though that he had abandoned his work into his